Have you ever wondered how some business models just have stayed stagnant for so long, and then all of a sudden someone comes along and changes it for the better? And you find yourself wondering, well, that seems so simple. Why didn't everyone do that? Today's episode features Danny from PoolGurus, who is doing just that in the pool industry. You see, Danny has been around for over a decade, and he enjoys the service aspect, but he also enjoys educating people. In fact, he's writing a book right now about the pool industry and helping homeowners understand the systems a little bit better. Tune in to the rest of this episode to find out more great tidbits that not only apply to the pool industry, but you might also find something for your own industry as well. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Promo Minds podcast interview series. And today, this is going to be a part of our contractor-focused series for the months of March and April. And today we have an amazing guest. He is very knowledgeable in a lot of new technologies in the swimming pool industry. We'll be talking about managing employees, and also maybe a little bit about his recent trip to the Philippines. So please welcome to the stage, Danny from the PoolGurus.
Hello, Steve. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you doing?
Great. Just getting geared up for a brand new pool season. Super excited for this one. Can't wait.
Absolutely. We were talking a little bit off stage there where you were in the Philippines when we actually started talking, and you had mentioned that you've traveled there more than a few times, and you tend to do like a 2.5 month vacation at the end of the pool season just to kind of recharge. I think it's pretty cool. And whereabouts in the Philippines were you?
Well, I was quite a bit all over. So there's a big city down south called Cebu, and that is sort of a launch pad to a bunch of smaller islands. So the thing to know about the Philippines is it's, I believe, over 7,000 islands, right? And was in a place called Siargao after Cebu. Siargao is essentially like the new Bali. They got surfing, live music, meditation retreats, great food. You can ride a motorbike with no helmet there. Don't tell my mom. But just gorgeous, gorgeous place. Other than that, some other islands called Bohol, Camagin, Palawan, up in Manila. There's just endless places to go there. Beautiful people, beautiful sunshine. I didn't feel anything less than 27 degrees, I would say, the whole time. It can get a little bit hotter and muggier in certain places at certain times. Just overall, a really great place to go. Highly recommend it. And, you know, as an additional bonus, it's relatively speaking compared to North America, dirt cheap in order to sustain a life there. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Only good things about there. And they got tons of pools too. So, you know, They don't close them over there either. They don't heat them. They don't close them. They're still using diatomaceous earth filters there, which I found interesting. That's something that kind of got phased out here in North America. They're still using it. And, you know, just the cartridge filter has, even the sand filters now are getting phased out over here in North America. It's cartridge filter is king. Philippines, they still got those DE filters. I'm sure you've been in the pool industry long enough to know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I can't imagine anyone today in 2024 ordering one of those things now today. I just can't see it. Maybe there's like one in a blue moon, one out of like 1,000, I would say would probably go for it. But there's just more effective, more cost-efficient ways to filter pool water. And I find it really interesting to really dive deep into all of that different variations in the technology, especially as, I'm trying to not only provide sales and service to customers, but to educate as well. We found this to be a great new revenue stream for our business, is to do what we call pool schools, right? So, you know, we've found that it's not every person there out who's got a pool uh, wants to pay for a service. There is, of course, those people who don't want to touch the pool. They just want to enjoy it. They're almost willing to pay just about anything to not have to deal with it. But there's a whole nother segment of pool owners that are dedicated to taking care of it themselves. And in some cases, desperate for some real curated, concise, simplified information beyond just what they can find haphazardly on the internet. So, pool schools, knowledge transfer, uh, we think is just a great new thing and has been for over the last couple of years. And then we're looking to build up that side of the business even more.
That's awesome. Do you do this as an in-person event, or is it a webinar series, or how does it work for you?
Currently, our pool schools are a one-on-one uh, event, like not a webinar thing. What I've been dreaming up is to do like a group pool school, which I have sort of done once before. It was for a retirement community right in Midtown Toronto, and it was me showing the manager of the compound as well as all the residents, giving them a pool school. So I'd say it was about 8 people, and it really was a lot of fun to actually just go through all the concepts and to educate these folks on exactly how the pool equipment works. We talk about water chemistry and just really actually just demystify and simplify and peel away the apparent complexity of what a swimming pool is. Because for people who don't know, it can be daunting. They just see a pump, they don't know what the pump does. They see a big tank, the filter, they don't know what that does. They see a bunch of pipes, not sure what's in, what's out. And a pool is really uh, simple at the end of the day. And this is part of what I'm putting into a book that I'm writing right now as well. So I'm writing up right now a complete guide to pool maintenance, and a story that I'm building into the book, which is just a true story, is about one of my earlier days as like a young pool guy, only a few weeks on the job, and I got sent out really far out to start up a pool system, and there was just a whole array of pipes, a lot of pumps, solar heating, a lot of bells and whistles, like more so than what I've seen before. And I really was just kind of like panicking and not understanding what to do. Call in to the office. I get one of the co-owners on the phone, and what she said to me, I will never ever forget. And she said, just relax, calm down. A swimming pool is just water in, water out. It was like a real Zen like moment. It's part of the inspiration for PoolGurus.ca, is just that real boil down, that real simplicity that she offered up to me that day. And I was just like, oh, okay, and that just gave me the confidence to be able to do it. I hunkered down, remember, water in, water out, got everything going, pump primed up finally, and then water started gushing off the roof of the pool shed. And just realizing, turn it off. Okay, there's this one plug that needed to go into the solar, the drain plug for the solar panel. I had never seen one of those before. Get that plug in. No more water spewing off the roof. Beautiful. Problem solved. I'll never forget that. It was one of the most just simple things, most beneficial things that I ever learned really early on in my career as a pool man.
Wow, that's really interesting. I had no idea that you were working on a book. When are you planning on finishing this,
Well,
or is it kind of like?
it's that's a good question. I'm planning on finishing it this season. I'd like to have it out before May rolls around. So the plan would be initially to have it as a digital product that would be for sale on Pool Gurus. That's a functionality of just about any e-commerce website. Of course, you can have pumps and filters and toys and vacuums and all that kind of stuff available for shipping. It's going to be a digital product that people can buy as a PDF form, download it, and to really give them that proper, expert, really concise information, everything they need to know about how to operate pool equipment, how to maintain water chemistry, specific examples, troubleshooting. And it's something that we're also going to eventually include in our pool school. We do our one-on-one pool school, and they're also going to get the PDF file included. And the next stage to that would be to have it sold through Amazon. Amazon has a like a self-publishing option where like they do all of the printing, they do the publishing. It's not even like a situation where you have to get thousands and thousands like printed up in hopes that you're going to sell them all. They will print them up on demand as necessary, you know. And so that's and what it's really been fun for me also too is to reinforce all of the knowledge that I have already. And it's just been a lot of fun to write too. It's stuff that is my bread and butter. It's stuff that I just do all day, every day. And writing about it has just been, a breeze. And then, of course, there's certain concepts that I come across. And then, I want to make sure that I really have it down pat. And sometimes I need to do just a little bit more research. So uh, it's going to be a great thing for our customers in the future, and it's been a great thing for myself as well.
That's awesome. Now, you had mentioned, again, kind of off stage here, we were talking about like salt systems and where they derive from. And I'm curious, is the story that you were sharing about some of your research on that, how it dates back to the 70s, are you going to be including that into your book as well?
Absolutely. Now, there's going to be a little bit of a brief history, how it goes back to the 1970s, developed in Australia. And what I really want to convey to my reader mostly is how it works, is the fundamentals behind it. Because I find from my decade plus, my decade of experience plus now, that people just have a misunderstanding of exactly what the salt system is. And it's partly to do with the name. The name is sort of a misnomer. Like the technical correct name is a saltwater chlorine generator. And to use that specific technical name is the first part in how I'm going to teach people how to set the conditions to properly use a saltwater chlorine generator. I was almost about to say salt system there, because often people think, oh, okay, the salt system, so it makes salt, right? Or I just got to put salt in and that's it. No, I always have to explain to people that, you have this salt system, but you still have a chlorine pool. You want to think about the salt system as a little miniature chlorine factory. Instead of dumping in chlorine all the time, you have this magic device that takes salt, sodium chloride, sends a small electric charge through these metal plates. As that sodium chloride passes through, it splits it apart. And once I get that fundamental kind of really deeply set into the customer's head, that's when they can start to understand it. So we're really talking about how the salt water chlorine generator does its own thing. And the job for the pool owner is just to set the conditions properly for that device to do its work, to generate the chlorine. And it's really just a couple of things. It's getting your salt level right, the proper amount of stabilizer, and then testing the water. It's really 1, 2, 3 things that you got to do, and you're off to the races. So that's that's like the nuts and bolts of it.
That was a really good description of that. I liked how you kind of, the notion of it's a little chlorine generating factory.
It's a little chlorine factory, yes.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, that is the perfect way to explain it.
And people tend to get it then, because just otherwise they're thinking, oh, this thing just makes salt, or oh, I just gotta keep on dumping salt in the pool and that'll make it work, which is definitely not the case, because you can dump as much salt in that thing as you want. If there's not an appropriate amount of stabilizer, and of course, part of the conditions being set right is verifying that the salt cell is clean, that the salt cell hasn't come to the end of its lifespan. So there is a little bit more to it. There's 3 main things, but there's Also, some other more kind of tangential things that you have to look out for as well. You got to make sure the brains haven't fried, the CPU. Right. You can dump as much salt in there as you want. You could have the stabilizer perfect. You can crank that knob up to however much percent you want. If the brains are fried and or the transformer is blown, that thing ain't doing jack. And
Yeah.
that's part of it all, right? And that's a little bit much for just any pool owner to digest or to figure out on their own. That's more of a, you really do need a service tech in that regard. Or if it's a really competent pool owner that happens to have a voltmeter and enough time to wait on hold to talk to Pentair or Hayward or Jandy, you could figure it out on your own. Probably better to call the pool gurus so that we could just, you know, get that figured out in about 10 to 15 minutes as opposed to hours of your life waiting on hold and still maybe not 100% sure after that conversation.
Yeah, it's so true. That's one thing that I would like to see more of moving forward with. You mentioned the Pentairs, Haywards, Jandys, all these suppliers, is to have like a video resource library, even just for their dealers and distributors, so that they can refer to them and not have to wait forever on hold, which would free up a lot of people's times.
True.
But I don't know when that's ever going to happen, if it's ever going to happen.
That would be great to have some. Absolutely. Like they do make, for example, if we're talking about like the Hayward's Gold Line salt system, there's troubleshooting sheets that they give out specifically for dealers. Um, they do have sort of a jump ahead in the lineup system for Pentair also when you're calling. Like if you say that you're a dealer, you can get up ahead. Um, and what we've actually found, thankfully, recently is that we have some really good relationships with the reps from some of these manufacturers. So, if I do need to drop a line to one of these guys, uh, often now I don't need to wait on hold. I've got somebody's number that they're going to answer right away. We spend enough money with these. When you spend enough money with these guys, like they start to answer the phone. They start to provide you really great resources. So I have a few numbers now in my phone where I can call people, the reps for the companies that have really good technical knowledge and can answer my questions and point me in the right direction really quickly now. And thankfully, I need to make those calls less and less often anyways.
Yeah. That's amazing. That can be a lifesaver right there.
Totally.
The speed of service. One of the craziest experiences I've ever had in my life happened after I read the book The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. This book I found when I was at a low point in my life, and I spent 3 hours in a Starbucks reading it one day and started implementing the techniques, specifically the 5 a.m. club. And within 7 days, I had such a profound experience. It was similar to the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper. Just a complete change in my thinking, my energy, and my aura. It's something that's so difficult to put into words, but I highly recommend checking out this book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. And I promise you, if you implement the techniques in this book, your life will change. So check it out. That's The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. All right, let's get back to the show. I'm curious with, you can tell that you are very focused on education and helping to educate clients and pool owners. And I'm curious, when it comes to, say, managing employees and maybe training new employees or educating employees, what kinds of, what would your approach be, or what sort of recommendations would you have for people who are maybe starting to take on employees or are just looking for new ways to manage and deal with retention issues? What do you have to say with that?
Taking on new employees. So what I would say about that is water in, water out. really just give these new guys or girls the fundamentals. Stick to the real simple stuff in the beginning. Don't overwhelm them with complexity. Just stick to the absolute basics. And give them enough mentorship, give them enough hands-on training that they need, but then also know when it's time to push the baby bird out of the nest, to let them fly, and to make a few very reasonable expected mistakes along the way so that they can learn. Staying in close communication with them, letting them know that mistakes are not to be hidden away or to be embarrassed about. They're to be cherished as the learning opportunities that they are. This is a business principle that Toyota is famous for, highly regarded as one of the best car companies on the planet. And that is their philosophy and has been for a long, long time. And they found that some of their employees were making some mistakes and trying to hide it away. So they made it very clear, as I do to my employees, that you're going to make mistakes. We want to know about them. If you have any questions, ask them. There's no stupid question, only the one you don't ask. And everything from that point will be fine. And as they get a little bit more comfortable in the job, as they have a firm grasp on the fundamentals, start to then bit by bit uh, add little bits of complexity, start to just build onto that foundation, right? It's very easy to build a beautiful skyscraper when you've made a great big concrete foundation.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess as a way to kind of um, maybe summarize that a bit, is would you say that you're more focused on kind of building that confidence and reassurance in people so that they feel safe in the way to start taking on more responsibility and tasks, understanding that mistakes do happen and it's not the end of the world, and you open up to it, it'll be it's a learning opportunity for them, so they just continually keep growing rather than they make a mistake and it's like, oh my god, I don't want to bring this up.
I don't want to bring this up. Exactly, because that doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help our timelines. It doesn't help our customers. It doesn't help me. It doesn't help my employees. So exactly as you say, yeah, building up the confidence. Just talking to them in a way that talking to them in relatable terms. So you mentioned employee retention before. The majority of the employees that we have, we do have a significant amount of turnover with my company, where we're often hiring students, where we're teaching them from scratch a lot of the times. So, and they normally don't have any idea about a swimming pool, and that is somewhat of a drawback in one respect, but also I can also, I've kind of flipped it on its head, and I see that as a benefit. I see that, often they're university students. These are not like dumb kids. They're able to grasp certain concepts. They're usually like in school for like finance or this and that. I really take it as an opportunity to mold them, right? To take a brand new, kid, like we have a term that we call them over at Pool Gurus. We call them the children, right? That's like me and my right hand man. We call them the children, and really they are, often very young. And I find it actually a lot of fun, really, teaching them from knowing absolutely nothing, just giving them the fundamentals, letting them understand, giving them some opportunity to make reasonable, really controlled failures, right? And moving on from there.
Amazing. Now, moving along here, because I want to be cognizant of your time here.
Sure.
But I'm curious, with the 2024 season coming up here, where do you see the industry, and what do you think people should be paying attention to, whether it's new products or maybe certain aspects of the business? What's your take on that?
Well, my take on it is there was an incredible boom of new pool builds that occurred over the last couple of years, right? This was the lockdown times. You could hardly get someone to build the pool during that time. People were faced with the proposition of being locked in their homes, locked down for the foreseeable future. A lot of pools got built. Okay. And, there's often builders are quite good at pouring concrete, setting the steel wall kits. If it's a complete custom concrete pool, doing their concrete work, doing their tiling, dropping those fiberglass shells in, whatever it may be. But their pool builders, from my experience, are not always the best at properly sizing pool filters, properly sizing pool heaters, putting the best automation in the pool systems. So what I see now is a great opportunity to kind of pick up the pieces from some hastily built pools where things were not necessarily done 100%. Now, and some of these pool builders also, they did sort of like a package thing where they put in just a general 1 horsepower speed pump. So there's a lot of opportunity for service guys and salespeople to promote these variable speed pumps, to convert the system over to uh, saltwater chlorine generators. Or what really excites me now is these new combination units that have come out, which is combining the saltwater chlorine generators and automation capabilities. So tremendous opportunity going forward to optimize, to improve, to revolutionize people's pool systems, right? That's what I see.
Awesome. And so you had mentioned it there, the new kind of automated salt systems that are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that started coming out a year or two ago, but I think they're catching on more because I think more installers and dealers have had a chance to learn about them and to start trying them and embrace them. So what is it about these new salt systems that you do enjoy with them?
Well, so the new salt systems that have the combination of which have the automation capabilities built in, is just how simple they are to add to an existing pad, to an existing pool equipment configuration. So a standard, let's call them like the old school of salt systems, you needed to have a real beefy 2-pole, high voltage, 60 amp electrical input coming from the main breaker panel, either from a pony or generally from inside the house. A lot of different breakers going into the bottom portion of that automation panel. Uh, Quite a significant amount of setup also required. With these new ones that are coming out, they allow you to very simply disconnect the main power that's going into, say, your pump, route it through these saltwater chlorine generator slash automation panels, and then get all your automation set up through there. They come with relay switches. They come with a valve operation. They come with these tiny little sub touchscreen panels with really great user interfaces. They allow you to set up all your communication wires. It's just a brand new type of streamlined, simplified automation that also just has the saltwater chlorine generator built right in there. You can run your lights off them. It's been a bit of a learning curve just getting my head around it initially, but now I just see it as a great option for a lot of people with existing automation panels that may have kicked the bucket, or for people that don't have any type of automation at all that would like that ability to have their lights flicked on and off with an app, on a schedule, control the heater. You're away from the house, you want to crank on the heat. God bless you. Let's do that. That's all readily available now, less expensively, both on the cost of the unit and on the cost of the install. Great new technology there.
Yeah, that's awesome, and thank you for that thorough explanation on that. I know that's got to be, and I'm just assuming here, but that's got to be part of your continuous plan on growing and continually building on customer satisfaction and all that. So maybe pushing into that a little bit, you could speak on some of that continued growth and what you focus on for customer satisfaction, or maybe things that you've changed for it. Just to clarify that, because
Sure.
what I did say was a little confusing. I meant more of like a personal growth standpoint, or things that you are continually working on to grow that customer satisfaction, or to build upon customer satisfaction.
Okay, so you're talking about systems and processes that we have like in the business to customer satisfaction. I would say one of the best things that we've done recently is implemented the usage of a paperless scheduling and correspondence application. We have been old school with paper for so many years, both in terms of our scheduling and in terms of notifications that we leave with the customer. Having this scheduling app, and an app that also helps us with our routing to optimize where we're going, has just revolutionized the ease of running the business for myself and my right hand man, as well as improved the experience for our customers. That is hands down one of the best things that we have done. And something else that I'm always working on to do even better and better each year is keeping the customer in the loop, communicating with the customer, answering their questions, answering the damn phone. You know how many pool companies just don't even answer the phone? 90% of success, I would say, in the pool business is answering the phone. Like, let's see if we can like boost that up amongst the industry. And in fact, I'm not even that keen for other companies to answer the phone. They can continue letting these people go to voicemail. We'll answer their calls. That's fine, because they become our customers once they get that. And people can, it's the pool business. It's a condensed season. Things happen. Trash pumps break down. Tires get flat. Jobs run longer than they're supposed to. We got to do a fair amount of rescheduling, no matter what. Every company has to do it. The pool guys are like the most notorious latecomers of all time. We're worse than the cable guy. Absolutely. But one thing that I am so committed to and do not fail on is letting our customers know what the heck is going on. Because a customer can handle, uh, you know, what, something happened, we got to come a few hours later, or we got to come tomorrow. They can handle that. They deal with that in their own professional life all the time. Delays in meetings, delays on projects, assignments. They can get that. What they cannot abide is just hanging out there wondering what the hell is going on. That's just something that people don't like, myself included. Everyone knows that. Everyone wants to be in the loop. So customer satisfaction, that's it. Also for customer satisfaction, being real with the customers, having them really understand that we're not BSing them. There's so many con artists, I would say, for the back of a letter, lack of a better term, not really con artists, but there's a lot of BS artists out there that are just going to say just about anything and everything to get a deal, to make a sale. Maybe they have a biased opinion when it comes to certain types of pool equipment. We offer unbiased appraisals and tell people exactly what is what, educate them, let them make an informed opinion, and make an informed decision, really, and give them our best advice always. That's not biased. That's not slanted.
Hey guys, if you're into hiking at all, I highly recommend subscribing to my YouTube page, Steve Leslie Hikes. That's Steve Leslie Hikes on YouTube. I have a lot of content on there from some of the crazy hikes that I've been on, including Angel's Landing in Zion National Park. And it'd be really cool to connect on there. So please check me out. Thanks. Yeah, I agree. And Danny, this is really one of the main reasons why I wanted to bring you on the show, is because this series that we're doing is focused around, the trusted experts in the field. And for anyone listening out there, you can tell this guy knows his stuff, and he's not, like you said, not here to BS you, and here to educate you, which I think is amazing, because what we saw happen over the pandemic was because there was so much money going into the industry, there was a lot of people that saw the opportunity to make money, and they either didn't really know what they were doing, or they did and had, I guess, malicious intent. And
Sure.
so, helping to kind of shine some more light on the trusted experts who are out there and who are looking to help you and get you set up and look after you.
Hmm.
I guess maybe this is a good way. I should have asked you this at the beginning, but we just kind of got rolling.
That's okay.
But maybe you could shed a little bit more light on Gurus and like what it is you focus on. What's your main sort of services that you offer to people?
Pool Gurus is like the sister site to our main pool service. And the concept that I have come up with is that it's an e-commerce site. Now I know pool equipment, chemical supply, e-commerce sites are almost a dime a dozen right now. And our idea to be different is to be offering not necessarily every product you could ever find, but more of a curated list of products. So, not every single last pump that's available out there, you're not going to find it on our site. You're going to find a great curated list, hand-picked stuff that a service expert knows, equipment that a service expert knows that actually works. Not for just today, but for tomorrow and for the long run. So, it's a really actually just uh, service professional driven products offered up to people that are looking for the best of the best stuff, right? We want to just have everything that you need for a pool, but just not a lot of the real stuff, not a lot of the crap, not a lot of the crap. Like you're not going to find a bunch of cheaper nets and stuff like that. If you're looking for pool cleaning equipment, there's certain pool pumps that we're not such fans of. You're not going to find that on there. We're going to have, and also what really is going to set us apart on Pool Gurus is what I was talking about before, which is the knowledge transfer. It really top notch blogs, videos, empowering the customer to know how to maintain their own pool. I'm dishing out all of this information that I used to try to keep more. I used to try to guard it. I used to try to kind of see it as, oh, this is a trade secret, and I shouldn't talk about it. Otherwise, other people are going to know it. But really, a lot of this information is just out there already. It's just not even conveyed in a proper way, and it's not going to affect our service business at all because there's always the customers that want someone to take care of it. I'm giving the very best expert advice and information to the customer that wants to take care of the pool themselves, because there's always those customers too. They want to take care of the pool themselves. I'm giving out the best information, the most concise, consolidated information they're going to find anywhere on the internet. And that's going to build up trust. And that is such a valuable commodity. And that means they're going to buy pH decreaser from me and buy my nets. And if they need a new pump, they're going to buy a pump from me. Why wouldn't you? You always want to buy things with someone you trust. You would always want to buy with something or believe something, or go along with an opinion from someone who's like more of a friend as opposed to just some random person. I don't even want to mention the names of the other e-commerce pool sites out there. They're literally a dime a dozen. They got a lot of stuff on there. Some of the stuff we have is the same. There's only so many products out there, but where we're different is the information.
Yeah, I would have to agree on that because at the end of the day, they know that if they have an issue or if they, have questions or whatnot, they know the people behind it, right?
Mm,
Whereas some of these other sites, that's all they are is they're a website. If you could get something shipped to you, and then who are you going to call if you have any issues or whatnot?
sure.
Especially like you had said, a lot of the DIYers, I feel like you're going to see a lot more of that, like in the next couple of years,
Yep.
because everything has just in general, not just with pool equipment, but in general, everything has gone up in cost so much that
Yeah,
maybe to save a couple bucks, they got to figure out how to do this themselves. So
of
they
course.
could go to a site like yours and not only get the products that they need, but also get the education along with it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you can't beat that value.
Exactly. I'm perfectly happy to educate a do-it-yourself customer on how to safely open up a pool pump and unseize a pump impeller and keep that pump going for another 8 months up to a year. That's fine by me. I'm happy to provide that help. It just makes it more likely that when they really eventually do need to replace that pump, when the impeller seizes, it's the swan song of the pump. It's the end is nigh. It's always an indication that it's going to go soon enough, anyways. Happy to teach them how to free it up, keep it going. We're rather competitive on the price front, anyways. Who are they going to buy a pump off a year down the road? Just one of the the big box guys that provided them no value, or me that showed them how to keep their pump going for hopefully another season. Maybe it still could be a bit noisy. Maybe they're willing to deal with that. But like you said, some people are going to be willing to deal with that. There are going to be more DIY. So many pools got built, and there's it's crunch time. Things got more expensive. Some people maybe didn't want to deal with the pool, but they're going to want to learn how to take care of it. Maybe they have to.
Yep, absolutely. Danny, before I let you go here, how can people connect with you?
Well, you can connect with me by best way, PoolGurus.ca. info@PoolGurus.ca. Send us a message there. That's the absolute best way. I've written up a whole bunch of blogs over my time in the Philippines that are just, I'm going to be dropping them in a staggered fashion. There's already some stuff up there. Be looking for Pool Guru Complete Guide to Pool Maintenance to be up there just in time for the main opening season, when most do-it-yourself pool openers, right? As a service company, we're going to start opening up pools even in the beginning of April. Most do-it-yourselfers typically look at the May 2-4 long weekend as their weekend to open the pool. So PoolGurus.ca, PoolGurus.ca. Go there early, go there often, and that's the best way you're going to find me.
Right on. Well, thanks, Danny, and we'll be sure to put that information in the show notes as well. And definitely let me know when that book comes out. I'll be paying attention closer to May.
Good.
And once it drops, if there's a link for that, we can put it in the show notes as well. So
I'd be happy to provide that. It's been a great talk with you, Steve.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on.
It was a lot of fun.
And looking forward to seeing what's next for you guys.
I love talking about pools. I could talk about pools all day.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, we will talk soon.
All right, take care.
So there you have it, Danny from PoolGurus.ca. He shared a lot of tidbits and dropped a lot of knowledge, and so definitely look for his upcoming book. We will have that in the show notes once it comes out. You can also pay attention to PoolGurus.ca for more product information on how to utilize that product, and be sure to connect with Danny. You can even find him on Instagram at PoolGuru.ca, and he's uploaded some cool videos on there. And if you have any questions for him, comments, definitely reach out. Again, we'll have all of his contact information in the show notes below. I'm your host, Steve Leslie. This has been another episode of the Promo Minds podcast interview series. And until next time, take care. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Promo Minds podcast. I'm Steve Leslie. And if you want help crafting your message or sharing your story, feel free to reach out. I'd love to help. Love coming up with ideas. And we can have a nice chat. So reach out to promominds@gmail.com and I'll respond. Take care.